a wonderful morning to worship the Lord. This is the day. This is the day.
Well, good Monday morning, everyone. It's time for inspiration for today, and we are in an exciting point in our study through the book of Revelation today. I hope you've read chapter 13, but if not, we're going to read most of this chapter today. It introduces some of the most famous things and people that you might have heard about the book of Revelation, including the number 666. So we'll get to that in just a moment. We're going to read, like I say, we're going to read, reminding where we are. The seventh trumpet sounded, but then John has put a kind of a parentheses, a section before he gets to what the seventh trumpet does. What happens then? This section is not chronological. 13, 14, 15, not chronological. It's just describing things that happen in the Great Tribulation. So that's where we are today. And let's just dig right in. Chapter 13. And the dragon, that is, of course, the word that's being used throughout this whole section for Satan himself. And the dragon stood on the shore of the sea, and I saw a beast coming out of the sea. He had 10 horns, 7 heads, and 10 crowns upon those heads, and each had a blasphemous name. The beast I saw resembled a leopard, but had feet like those of a bear and a mouth like that of a lion. The dragon gave the beast his power and his throne and great authority. Did you get what happened? John sees an amazing beast come up out of the sea. Satan, we just read, gives him his power and his throne and great authority. This beast is known as the Antichrist. Now understand, the word, even when we give him that word and we read that that's what it is, the Antichrist. Anti what means what? Against Christ. Satan and the Antichrist obviously are against Christ. Now, something amazing happens to this Antichrist, or called the beast. Verse 3, one of the heads of the beast seemed to have a fatal wound, but the fatal wound had been healed. The whole world was astonished and followed the beast. In fact, what? Men worshipped the dragon because he had given authority to the beast, and they also worshiped the beast. Who is like the beast, and who can make war against him? In other words, people's worship. These are non-believers. They wanted to worship something, they start to worship the beast and Satan, the dragon. Evidently, he had had a fatal wound. Now, Satan can't give life if he had died. So, but he could help heal that wound, couldn't he? So he heals the wound. Everyone's just astonished. They're astonished that he could come back and survive that wound. Verse 5. The beast was given a mouth to utter proud words and blasphemies and exercise his authority for 42 months. 3.5 years. Again, we're seeing that all this stuff taking place in the last 3.5 years, that's called the Great Tribulation. And sure enough, verse 6, he opened his mouth to blaspheme God and to slander his name and the dwelling place that he lived forever. He was given power to make war against the saints, those people that are on earth that are followers of Christ. They came to Christ during the tribulation. And he was given authority over every tribe, people, language, and nation. All inhabitants of the earth will worship the beast. So this is his world, one world government. The whole world being ruled by this beast or by the Antichrist. Think of that. The whole world. And that's political power. That's political power that's being described. We drop down to verse 11. Then I saw another beast coming out of the earth. He had 2 horns like a lamb, but he spoke like the dragon. He also spoke like Satan. He exercised all authority of the first beast on his behalf and made the earth and its inhabitants worship the beast whose fatal wound had been healed. So now we're talking about, we had the political power ruling the whole world. Now this is the spiritual. They want to have religious power. They want to have worship. Emperors through the world history have done that. They are, the emperor of Rome wanted to be worshiped. Verse 13. And he performed great and miraculous signs, even causing fire to come down from heaven, because the signs he was given power to do on behalf of the first beast, he deceived the inhabitants of the earth. And he ordered them to set up an image in honor of that beast. There you go. They always want that image. They want worship. It's not enough to rule by power. They want to rule spiritually too. But you're going to also see, verse 16, economic power. So it's political power, spiritual power. Verse 16, economic power. Power is such a addicting thing, isn't it? People want power, always have, always will. Verse 16, he forced everyone, small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on his right hand or on his forehead, so that no one could buy or sell unless he has that mark, which is the name of the beast or the number of his name. This calls for wisdom. If anyone has insight, it says, verse 18, let him calculate the number of the beast, for it is man's number, and his number is 666. A lot of debate on why they decided on 666, or will decide, really. This is future, of course, to us. And this is during the Great Tribulation. And I know there's been a lot of conspiracy theories around, and even concerning the vaccines and so forth. Or is there a way that they're making us somehow have this mark of the beast, the 666? The answer, of course, is no. I'm reading in my Bible, this is during the tribulation, not during now. So it's virtually, it's impossible that any of those conspiracy theories, if it's pertaining to now, could be true. They're not, unless the Word of God is wrong. But well, I'm just joking on that. That's never the case. Now, what he's saying is that, there'll come a time during the tribulation when people will have a choice. Do I follow the beast empowered by the dragon, or the second beast, giving praise to both of the other, or do I follow Christ? And people, just like now, will have to make a decision. And with all the calamity and all the death and everything they've seen already, it amazes me that anyone wouldn't follow Christ. But obviously, the majority, most people don't. And instead, they take the mark of the beast, 666, on either their forehead, it says, or on their hand. People will still choose that way at time and turn from the Lord. And in God's love, he never forces anyone now. He won't force anyone then. That certainly will be the wise decision, because it's the difference between another 3.5 years before the end or eternity to live with Christ. Wow. Well, we're going to jump into 14 tomorrow. I hope you have time to read it today. It's just as exciting. See you then. Bye for now.
Beautiful day, it's wonderful. This is the day that the